Hey guys, it's me, Mrs. Nolte, your numbers navigator, and today we're going to talk about the area of triangles. So I actually just finished this with my own students, so I thought, hey, I'm just going to keep doing area for all my students, whether they're in my classroom or on YouTube. So that's what we're going to focus on, okay? So let me get my next page up. So the first thing you need to know about a triangle is that it's a three-sided figure and it's got three angles, which most of us should know that by now. I sure hope so, okay? If you're in 6th grade, you should know what a triangle looks like. So just to remind you, a triangle could look like this, okay? Well, don't judge my curviness. It could be a right triangle like this. It could be a right triangle like that. It could even be an obtuse triangle like this. Okay, once again, don't judge my little line there. But the things you need to identify in your triangle are your height and your base. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to draw you again. But first you need to understand this is an obtuse triangle. These are called right triangles. They have right angles. This would be an acute triangle. See, it's got an acute angle right here. But there's lots of different kinds of triangles. You could go on and on talking about isosceles triangles and all, equilateral triangles. But we're not worried about that. All we're worried about, as long as you can identify a triangle, done. Hopefully you know that. 3 sides, 3 angles, okay? So now I'm going to go on a little bit more about the triangles themselves, okay? So let's say I have a triangle like this, okay? This is a right angle right here, okay? And anywhere the right angle is, that's where you're going to find your height of your triangle. That's my height. And then opposite of that, so here's the height, see, because that right angle right here is my height. I'll make it really, keep thickening it up. And then this is my base. See how it kind of almost makes like a T? Okay? Oh, you can't see my H. I'm really sorry. Hold on. This should be my H here. There. I will also draw another one. Here's one. Same thing. Here's a right angle. Here's my height. Here's my base. See, they're right next to each other. There's no way this can be the height. This is actually a hypotenuse. You can learn that later. That's actually something I know that's really taught in 8th grade. And if you're wondering, Miss Nolte, how do you find it if it's like this? There's no straight line. That's the height. Yes, there is. See, there should be a dotted line in the center and a right angle here. This would be the height and this would be the base. But see, the base is always it's almost like a T. You see, upside down T. So there's the height, there's the base. They're literally touching, okay? Same thing with an obtuse triangle. Sometimes that confuses people. So see how there's still no straight. What they'll do on the problem, they'll give you a right angle here. And this would be the height. Okay, but the base would be over here. This is not part of the triangle. That's just showing you, hey, here's the height for this triangle, but this is the base, okay? Real quick to talk about where the formula comes from, I'm going to use a piece of paper. Cut it. So, kind of a cool little activity you can show your kids. If you cut any quadrilateral like this in half, guess what it makes? Triangle. So look, I have a rectangle or square. You can use a rectangle. Here's a square. Boom, triangles. So that's how you find out what the formula is. So the formula, let me erase some of this for us, okay? Bear with me here. So the formula, okay, is based off of that. So it's A equals 1/2 BH. And think about it, because it's half of a quadrilaterals formula we just learned on the other video. So you literally take half of it to make a triangle, okay? Some people also like this formula. They write it like this: A equals BH over 2. You're dividing it by 2. Really, they mean the same thing. Whether you want to half something or you want to divide it by 2, it means the same, okay? I like to use this one the best, personally, because I think it's more universal and better for other things like the trapezoid formula. But some people really prefer this one. They both work. It's no big deal, okay? Real quick, I want to show you an example with a parallelogram. So see, here's my parallelogram, all right? And same thing, if I were to cut this right down the center here, I have 2 triangles. So that would mean that this would become my height, and this would become my base. So do not be scared of a triangle formula. It's almost like the same as just regular BH for quadrilateral. The only difference is you have to half it, okay? And I'll show you that in a minute. But now, you know what time it is. It's time for a Millie Ann Math break.
Millie loves snow, loves it. She's very excited. I couldn't find her football. She's got a football that she's destroyed out here, but it's hiding in the street. I couldn't find it. So for her amusement, Millie down, I brought her this ginormous like medicine ball thing my brother got her. Okay, look at this. It's called the Barrett ball. It literally, you hear how heavy this is? It is like 5 pounds. Okay, now watch this. Stay. Okay. Come on, Mel. Right here. Let's go. Oh, she's like, I'm gonna eat some snow. Forget it. Right here, Mel. Look at her. She's like, Millie, come. Come on, right here. That girl is bringing this ginormous ball. And it's like 5 pounds. Hello, girl. Hey. She likes it when I play chase outside back here, so she's wanting me to chase her. Watch this. Millie. I promise she listens. Look at her tail. She's like, please chase me. Millie. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. See, guys, she likes to be chased. Gonna get you, Mel. Okay, now watch if I sneak up on her. Look at her tail. Look at it. Wait, she's getting ready. Go, Mel. I'm gonna get the ball. I'm gonna take it. She's like, no, you're not. Don't touch me. I'm gonna come get it. I'm gonna come get it. Yeah, so this is what I do on a snowy spring day when we all had a 70s basically yesterday, and now 4 inches of snow or however much this is. Hey, drop it, Millie Ann. That's her middle name. Drop it right now. Thank you, little girl. Look at that spot. Okay. She's happy. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed your Millie Ann break.
I hope you enjoyed your Millie Ann Math Fan break. It's kind of crazy because we really did just have almost 70 degrees where I live and like weather, and now it snowed. Like I woke up this morning, so last night played t-shirt, you could wear shorts. This morning, snow. I don't know. I don't know what you do. You know what I mean? So Millie loves it no matter what, whether it's raining, snowing, puddles, sunny, she's happy. Except when it's really hot. If it's super hot, you can tell she's miserable. I've made her walk in it and she's dying. But that's beside the point. Now we're back to math. We are going to now focus on our area of triangles. Okay, so now you know what the formula is. Now you know what a triangle is. Hopefully you already knew what a triangle was. But if you didn't, now you should know. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do an example. And I'm going to do, once again, don't judge my straight lines. They're not very straight sometimes. Sorry. So I'm going to put 3 inches and then I'm going to put 5 inches here. Okay, so I'm going to show you both formulas. Okay, so first I'm going to put the one I like the best. It's really good practice to write your formula at the beginning, no matter what. Even if you know it, it's good to practice because then you get it more memorized in your head. I have a lot of students that want to just do the problem, or they want to take their calculator because this is something they're allowed to use their calculator, and they just want to, done, Miss Nolte. I need to see your work, guys. We can't see your brain. We got to see it on the paper, especially when you get to higher level geometry, like with proofs and stuff. They want evidence. They want, oh, what's your proof? It's kind of like when you write an essay and they want evidence of a resources where you got them, We need proof, okay? So I need proof you know how to do this. So I'm going to bring down my 1/2, and I can identify my base as 5, and my height would be 3. So here's my height, okay? So there's lots of correct ways to do this. So some students or people like to half something before. So that's why I like this one, because you could like half 5 and then make it 2.5 times 3. In this particular situation, I'm just going to multiply. So 5 times 3 is 15, because in the end, you're just multiplying everything. Now, in this situation, you could half 15 if you know how to half 15. You could times it by 0.5, or you could divide it by 2. They're all going to work. But I know that half of 14 is 7, and half, a little bit more of that, 7 1/2, 2 7s 1/2 would make 15. So I know it's 7.5 inches squared. But if you did not know that, you could have multiplied by half or divided by 2, because 1/2 or dividing by 2 is the same. Now, I'm going to erase this. Let me find my eraser. And I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to use the other way. I have some students really like this method if they feel more comfortable with division and they like that process. So you could also put BH over 2. So same thing, my base is 5, my height's 3, I'm going to divide by 2. So now I'm half to divide. So you could go to the side and do 15 divided by 2. 2 times 7 is 14. I bring down my 1, slap a 0, that's what I say, slap a 0, that's what I say, and a decimal. 2 times 5 is 10, so it'd still work. So it would still be 7.5. So it's really a personal preference of what you like. I like the first one because I think, and I'll show you why in a minute, I'll do one more example of why I like it better. But this method's very simple too. You could, if you like to divide and have it straightforward. But the next example I'm going to show you is why I think it's easier, okay? So I'm going to draw another triangle. Let's change it up. Let's make it look like this. Okay. And I'm going to make this a 4, and I'm going to make this, let's make this, I don't know, 3. I'll make it feet. Okay. So I'm going to go to the side, and I'm going to use the one I like the best. Okay. And if I fill in my information, and you know what happens? I'm going to throw a curveball here. Sometimes when you're taking a test or you're doing a math problem, they'll add extra numbers in there to make it interesting. Let's say this is an isosceles triangle. It kind of looks more like an equilateral, but let's pretend it is. So I'm going to put, I don't know, let's put 2 feet here and then 2 feet here. So, oh my gosh, that weirds kids out. Holy, I can't do it, Miss Nolte. That's too hard. It's too hard. Can't do it. Yes, you can. So just because there's 2's here doesn't mean it changes what you're doing. You literally find your height, right? Because it's straight and it's got that right angle. So here's my height. It would have to be 3. And my base is right, literally like a T to the height, so it would be 4. So just because there's extra numbers in a math problem doesn't mean it's become more complex. You just have to know what you're looking for. So I know my height has to be straight up and down with the right angle, and my base is literally right with it, okay? Can't be these other 2. So the 2's are out. We don't need the 2's. Okay, now here's why I like my formula, okay? Ta-da, super exciting. If you're my student watching, I hope you remember. So you see that little 4 up there? So little 4, I can just half it. So instead of halving or dividing and doing all that, you take an even number. If it's even, it's easy to half. So I just half that. So this becomes 2 times 3. OMG, that's easy. It's 6 feet squared. Okay. Same thing with bigger numbers. Let's say that was 26. It's easier to half 26 than to half the bigger number multiplied. So instead of halving, you could have done 4 times 3 is 12, and then half of 12 was 6. That would have worked as well. But I'd rather half when it's littler and make it even easier math in the beginning. See, if you do the other method, the BH over 2, you would have had to do 4 times 3 divided by 2, and you would have gotten 12 divided by 2 is 6. So that would have also worked, but in my opinion, wouldn't you rather have something sooner and be done with it? I would. So that's why I like this method the best, because I like to have prematurely, so then I don't have to have later. But it's really a personal preference, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Yeah, so I hope you guys understand. So when you have triangles, okay, you need to identify your height and your base. Make sure you don't forget your half, okay? You've got a half somewhere. Half beginning, end, middle, just half, okay? And then that's it, because it's half of a quadrilateral. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a comment below. If you want certain content, you have any questions about the triangles, you want some different kind of resource, tell me what you want. I don't know if you don't tell me, okay? If you have any questions or anything, please leave me a comment below. Okay? Have a nice day.